Keith, you have led so many organizations that have been at massive scale and going through disruption and creating whole new industries. Talk to us about some of the challenges for leading in this kind of environment.
Well, thank you so much, Liz, for being here. I appreciate it. The number one responsibility for the CEO of a high-tech company is to build a high-performance team. And by the mere fact that you're growing and you're scaling, and you're always raising your standard of performance in everything you do, your product, your people, and your processes, means you have to be good at up-leveling and upgrading your leadership team as well as your impact players. And just because somebody's great at a startup stage doesn't mean they're going to be great at the high growth stage, doesn't mean they're going to be great at a public stage. Some people can scale it all. So you have to be a master of upgrading talent while at the same time creating a safe environment, because you've got all these A-plus players and you want to get the absolute best out of them. So those are a few of the challenges.
There's a certain kind of coaching that has to happen from the CEO that you have to do, but what is it that people from the outside can do that nobody inside can do?
Right. So I'll give you a specific example, specific story. This was in the early days of Ariba, and we knew we were onto a big thing, but we had a little problem one quarter bringing in the bookings. And I could see guys were kind of going off there. So I brought in this guy and I said, all right, we got to do an offsite. And let's get it all out on the table. Strengths and weaknesses of the company. And when you do strengths and weaknesses of the company, I said, to make a safe environment, I want you interviewing all these VPs ahead of time, on a one-on-one basis, but then I want to do it, out in the crowd. And if somebody doesn't speak out, you just call them out, tell them you're going to do that. But this was not a shy group, so that wasn't an issue. But after you do that, then it's like, okay, let's do the strengths and weaknesses of the CEO. All right, boom, man. I'll tell you, he had the flip chart. I had the 7 greatest strengths you ever did see. I'm not kidding you. I'm great. But then, 21 weaknesses, right? And I remember one of the guys, a guy named Paul Haggerty, he was our CTO. He was VP of Engineering at Next. He worked for Jobs and stuff like that. He goes, Krach, I think you're, the best or one of the best CEOs I've ever worked with, but 21 weaknesses. What about that? And I said, well, isn't that great? The reason why I'm doing this is I want to get better. And by the way, if I look at those 21 weaknesses, I could probably classify them into 7 or 3 different buckets, probably 7 each. One is, oh my God, I know that's a weakness, and I'm working on them all. The other bucket was, that was a blind spot. I didn't know, but now that you say it, you're 100% correct. The third bucket was, I think you guys are just dead nuts wrong on that. That's not a weakness, but you know what? Perception is reality, so it's up to me. It's my responsibility to prove to you guys. And that was only an outside facilitator, only an outside executive coach could do that. And he said something that was great. He said, wow, because it's always about the way you get the scale is the cascade, right? Like the playbook cascade, this cascade. And so what we were really doing is role modeling the process for our VPs to go back and do with their groups and go through that exercise. And I told the team, I said, you probably won't have 21 weaknesses like me. You probably have a lot less, but think how powerful that would be and cascade that down. That will create a safe environment and get the truth out. So only really, I think an executive coach can do those kind of things.
Thank you, Keith.
Thank you.